Alright, Mothership is going to be our first map. Second map will be Ruby Rock. Third map is Tourmaline. Fourth map is Winter Madness. And the fifth map, if we get there, and that would make it a very successful evening. All three series going to Game 5. I feel like it's possible. Reynor, Gabe, on a Friday evening. Gabe has been looking forward to this. I asked him in the past, but unfortunately he couldn't play at that point. But he said, if I'm home, I'm always down. And then when I asked him this week, I asked him on Monday, and he immediately said, yep, works for me. Love it. I was like, against Reynor. He's like, yeah, of course, let's go. So here we go. Reynor ready. Gabe ready. Reynor is back in Europe. Has a better PC. Gabe is an animal in TVZ. We saw that at Home Story Cup. It's gonna be good. Winner gets $200. The loser will still get $50 for playing our main event of the Big Brain Bouts number 110. And obviously, if you guys can't watch it all, you can always watch it back over at the BASILISK YouTube channel. It will be posted rather quickly. Most of the time, it's up in like a day. So, just know that you can watch it back. Kicking things off on the 3-player map.
Let's get it on.
Round 1, fight.
Here we go. In the top right side, the man who is not just known for making fantastic pizzas, but also for being a legendary European Terran. He's been the talk of the town on SC Reddit. I saw everything that Gabe says turns into a thread these days. The one and only, representing MOUZ Sports after all these years, it's HeRoMaRinE. And in the top left side, it's the man who did get a victory today against SOS in the WaterTV Team League. You guys will see more of Reynor on Sunday, as we have 3 matches on Sunday. So there will be lots of Reynor. Maybe I'll even put him in a 2v2, just so we can see him play a 2v2. This is the Italian Stallion for BASILISK, Reynor. This is gonna be fun. I'm legit excited for this. I hope it's good. I hope we go to Game 5. Hello, honey. Thank you. You're the best. And Gabe is kicking things off with Command Center first. CC first for Gabe. On the 3-player map. I was watching Lambo's stream last Monday. He was playing in the WaterTV League. And Lambo was playing on the Mothership against Ryung. And I believe Ryung went CC first, no scout. And Lambo let go of a little chuckle. We're like, what a legend. CC first, no scout on Mothership. Seems like Gabe maybe saw that too. I was inspired by that. So you know what? Let's run it back. I predicted earlier that I thought the channel point prediction would be relatively close, 50-50. Seems like slightly in favor of Reynor at this point. I think we can wager a few more points, guys. Big series. 500,000 channel points. That's light work. I know you guys have more. So many millionaires in the chat. Maybe free money. You went for Gabe? Oh. People are doubling down on Reynor. I think it's a tough one. I legitimately think it's a tough one. There was obviously a day and age where I would say it was a relatively convincing, easy victory for Reynor because his ZVT was so freaking good. But I think Gabe is very good in this matchup. He showed that at Home Story Cup, obviously getting his first ever offline win over Cerro. And Gabe does not shy away from playing what he thinks is best and abuse it to the max. And Gabe seems to be a bit of a mech enjoyer in this day and age, in the era where we can no longer abduct the tanks with Vipers. I'm seeing Gabe drop 2 factories early on here. Doesn't surprise me. You must have so many points now, Rexy. I can imagine that you have no points. If you're a tier 3 sub, you obviously earn channel points very, very quickly. And you have also spent a lot of time on this channel. In my mind, you should have like almost infinite points. Unless you've done some really bad predictions. You have 18k, yeah, that's not much. I feel like Mixu has millions. Every now and then Mixu shows up and he always drops the max bet 250k. Light work for Mixu. Very successful predictor on this channel. I wish there was an easy way to see the leaderboard on like who's got the highest amount of points and stuff. I feel like it'd be fun to look at. Yeah. I'm sorry about that, Leroy. That was probably because you believed in me and I let you down. 4 minutes in, after going CC first, double factory, Gabe is scouting with his first heli, and Reynor has gone gasless. Did not get Zergling speed, has dropped the Roach Warren, so it seems like Reynor was kind of maybe expecting this. And getting early Roaches can be good, can also still be tricky, obviously. The Cyclones do have a lot of micro potential. I got way better since then. 2 Hellions are gonna dive into the natural. Roach is not out yet. This could be bad news for Reynor, guys. Damage limitation. If you can only lose like 2 or 3 workers here, that's very acceptable. So far it is just 2. Yeah, I think we'll take this. I honestly think we'll totally take this on the side of Reynor. Lara's on the way. 6 more drones. Wow, what is this build by Gabe, guys? So after this double factory, he added in another factory. And now he's building 2 starports as well, before dropping a 3rd command center. So triple factory, double starport of 2 bases. I'm not mega familiar with this one. Macfield Accelerator gets researched. Yeah, I assume it's Speed Banshees. Anything else wouldn't make a lot of sense to me. Gabe splitting up the Cyclones and the Hellions right now. Is maybe gonna try to pull the Roaches out of position and then hoping to get lucky with the Hellions over the 3rd, but Reynor read him like a book. Excellent defensive unit positioning so far on the side of our Stallion. BCs would also just hit like way too late. It would just take so long. Reynor is always gonna scout that with an Overseer and then he's gonna get ready for it. And then Gabe would be dead. I love how there's a Marine here. One of the 2 Marines that HeRoMaRinE has produced in this game. This Marine's probably wondering, like, why did you bring me out, man? Can I just retire and chill at home? Triple lock on, even without Macfield. Roaches have a tough time battling Cyclones. HeRoMaRinE is going to try to find another opening. Great Evolution Chamber blocked by our man. That was as good as his flash. I saw that flash, killing that Sona, killing the other hero. Oh. A little risky, everything clumped up, but 1 Hellion not good enough to kill those drones. It's Big Gabe himself. Well, Gabe has survived. Gabe does do a lot of running. If you guys follow HeRoMaRinE on Instagram, there was a time that he was promoting his Instagram very heavily. And he's actually done some marathons, half marathons, full marathon. So I believe that this Marine could be Gabe. Just going from his side of the map to the other side of the map and back home. Gabe again is gonna try to find some big shots with his Hellions. Does not have Blue Flame yet. Throws down a scan in the main base, wants to see what Reynor has and sees the infestation pit. Will obviously be aware of the timing as well. Overlord speed is done on the side of Reynor. We can start having some fun maybe with Roaches and Tolerant Claws behind enemy lines. Thank you Theory matey for the 5 months. And Sirizia, I've already done the prediction. My prediction is Reynor. I hope it's a 3-2 for Reynor. I feel like that would make it a perfect evening. It's already been a very good day for me, obviously very fun. I'm excited for Sunday. Sunday we're going to do a lot of Starcraft coverage as well. We'll be casting the remaining 3 matches of the Water TV group stage. How much anti-air does Reynor have right now, guys? 1 Spore, 5 Queens. I don't think the Banshees kill the hatchery, but they will definitely kill some drones. And Fungal would be lovely here. We could really use a Fungal. We land the Fungal and it connects on all 4 Banshees immediately. Second Fungal is not bad either. That's -2 Banshees so far. This is good for Reynor if you ask me. So far Gabe not getting the value I think that he was dreaming of with these Banshees, but he's not done yet. Gabe is most certainly not done. Loses 2, kills 8 drones and kills a Queen. Pretty fair exchange. Gabe's macro is firing on all cylinders, by the way. 82 SCVs, despite the fact that I thought this 3rd CC was a little bit later than what it could have been. He's now adding in 2 more factories. Jeez. I always get a little nervous when I see a German with this many tanks hiding behind some depots. Feel like we've gone through this before. And it didn't end well last time, guys. But okay. Fortunately, we're just watching a game on Mothership this time around. It's a lot of Banshees as well. And no. We're not gonna call it what you guys are thinking of. Just Banshees. Banshees flying in, killing a queen. Killing another queen. Reynor is definitely having some NTI issues at this point. We have a spore to fall back to. Definitely did not expect a second wave of all those extra Banshees. They are now looking for the infestors. One infestor is dead. The second one does get saved. Really nice split on this Banshee. He's gotta give it to Gabe. He's doing this very well. I'm not sure if Reynor is getting much done with his roaches. Doesn't seem like that's the case. Obviously, there were so many things. I mean, Gabe is kind of cooking here in game 1. Kudos to Gabe. Look at this. Just this range from above as Gabe is sniping the majority of these infestors. Finally, Reynor decides to burrow them. Maybe he could have done that a bit earlier. This is looking very grim. This is never going to work, guys. This is a bit of a desperation. I want to get some value out of my roaches as I'm taking a beating at home kind of attack. But these attacks, they don't go well. Gabe is more than ready to receive a couple roaches. I feel like Reynor is kind of dead. Just like that. I feel like Reynor is kind of dead. Sick build by Gabe. Really good execution. Even if not everything worked out perfectly. Just macros felt very strong. Map presence. Unit movement. Banshees continue to find great targets as another infestor gets picked off. Gabe is looking for one more. Gets another one. It's 7 infestors going down already. Yeah, I saw that the queen was attacking the Evo, but I don't think it was very interesting. What is very interesting is that Gabe is dominating. Let's be honest. Gabe is just kind of dominating. Gabe is massive, and it's a massive performance here in game 1 on Mothership. CC first, no scout, double factory, into a third factory, into 2 starports, and then a third base, and then a fourth base. This kind of feels like this was a 12-minute highlight reel of Big Gabe. These links had enough. These links are asking Reynor, what do you want me to get done against this army? The man has blue flame hellbats for days. Scan goes down. Reynor is gonna try to make some magic happen with a few neural parasites, but just it feels like an unfair fight. Banelings are on the way. It's kind of cute. I mean, we are maxed out. Maybe a magical fungal, but we don't have baning speed yet, and that's also very sad. The queens are gonna try to tank and make the difference here. Transfuse, transfuse. HeRoMaRiNE's army is just so freaking powerful. It's a nice fungal on the side of Reynor as a couple of the hellbats do go down. A tank gets picked up. It just always feels that there is so much more of where this came from. Reynor is doing a good job in killing a couple of cyclones. He makes some progress, gets on top of the tanks, has the extra links coming in as well. Reynor is successfully pushing this back. Obviously, it costed him an arm and a leg. A lot of the spellcasters went down, all the queens are out of energy. And as I said, there will always be more of where this came from. Jeez, the yellow submarine gets dropped. And Gabe is going to be so freaking rich. It's a really good hold, but I'm afraid that it's an uphill battle. Beautiful hold. I think unless the Zerg would have just died there. Gabe still has a few Banshees chilling in the bottom. A few Banshees turns into a single Banshee. Finds the sweet spot. Justice reigns from above.
Justice reigns from above.
People still play Overwatch. There's gotta be a couple Overwatch gamers out there. In the end, 4 drones fall as more Banshees find a spot to get on top of these Ravagers. Gabe is just going to successfully kite back, wait for these lock-ons to reset over and over again. You can get high-sec auto-tracking. I think we have a Raven. We're getting the Reddit Raven. Pongo does land on the 2 Banshees. I hope for Reynor that he's got enough DPS to kill it. This is a bad fight for these roaches. Too many Cyclones, too many lock-ons. This is where you want the perfect mix of links, of roaches, of Ravagers. Reynor has been in a very, very problematic spot ever since those extra Banshees showed up. They got on top of the queens and the infestors. It really felt that it was all Big Gabe in game 1. 14 minutes of Gabriel domination. Strong first game by Gabe. Obviously, Mothership is a unique map. Gabe definitely had a greedy start. For the man who often talks about people playing greedy against him, Gabe knows a thing or two about cutting some corners. He is big. And he's impressive. I think there's still a long way to go. Reynor is also somebody who can really power up through series, and if you think of Reynor, his finest moments throughout his entire career, it often came off the back of being down 0-1, 1-2, sometimes even 0-2. Think of the legendary Katowice run. Think of his Game is 8 final. In the Game is 8 final, he even went down 0-1 against Cure. And then he turned it around. There were no corners. Gabe went on the Autobahn. I've never been in a car that... Does Gabe have a license? Do you guys know that? I'm sure Gabe has spoken about it on his stream. I feel like whenever I see Gabe, he has. Okay, but Gabe always gets driven. Gabe gets chauffeured around like he's the absolute kingpin of Cologne. I've never seen Gabe drive. I think Gabe might still be a top 5 Terran worldwide. What do you guys think? I think if Gabe is in absolute peak form and he's bringing his A+ game, he's definitely a top 5 Terran in the world. But there are some really good Terran players out there, and I found it very difficult to rank Gabe above some of the Korean Terrans. Sometimes you see a bit less of them, but it doesn't mean that they're not that good anymore. And obviously, like, 2 spots are always reserved for Clem and Maru. But yes, if Gabe is in top tier shape, I would agree that he's a top 5 Terran. Let's not forget that he made semi-finals of Katowice.
Round 2, fight!
Top left side of Ruby Rock. We're looking in the main base of our German Terran representing MOUZ Sports. It is HeRoMaRinE taking the 1-0 lead. In the bottom right side of Ruby Rock, we're looking in the main base of the man who did manage to take down SOS earlier today for us. Our only W. This is BASILISK Reynor. Yeah, Gabe wasn't just leading. Gabe was up 2-0, and I kind of thought Gabe was winning Game 3. Game 3, Glittering Ashes. Intel Extreme Masters Katowice 20... Was it 2022 or 2023? Gabe in the semifinals, up 2-0 over Reynor and 8 Rexing on Glittering Ashes. Gabe was like a fight away from 3-0ing Reynor back then in the semifinals and making it to the final of the World Championship. Yeah, at first I was loving it. I was like, this is good, this is good. And at one point I was like, oh my goodness. Is Gabe like actually 3-0ing Reynor here? I remember watching that from a different location because our final broadcast day was not where all the games took place. They shuttled us to like a studio that was 15 minutes away. And I think I was there with Colares and Ben. I think it was just the 3 of us. And we're just like, what the fuck? What the fuck? What is happening? Like, how is Gabe doing this? And then in the end, it was still Reynor. And then Reynor played the great ZVZ final against Cero. Intel Extreme Masters Katowice 2022. The final was really good as well, between Reynor and Cero. Gabe going for 2 Rex on the low ground, as you guys can see, and he's gonna start off by building a couple of Reapers. Bjorn is still very, very fond of this opening in TVZ. I see him do it all the time. I didn't know that Gabe was also a fan. Apparently he's a bit of a fan. I heard that Gabe did a cooking stream this morning where he did tiramisu. I didn't see it, but I'll take a look at the VOD tomorrow morning or something. I like it when Gabe is happy. I really do think, like, you guys often ask me, what will these guys do when they grow up and they get older? Like, I don't know. I really do hope that HeRoMaRinE can find a nice location to eventually open up his own restaurant. Because I feel like he's a really good chef, and he seems to love it. And I think Gabe is also really good with people, especially if he's in a comfortable environment. And I will most certainly, once every 6 months, come over to Cologne to have a nice meal in Gabe's restaurant. I feel like it'd be very cool. I hope that it works out for him one day. Reynor does have Zerg Link Speed as an opener this time around. Link Speed is done. Might be able to get us around on the Reapers here, guys. Not that many links, but you really don't need all that many links if you get a good jump on them. Oh, nice micro on the side of Gabe, but one Reaper is dead. And that is the trade-off for now. I mean, I'm sure that Wingend also loves Gabe's pizzas. Just one day we need to get these guys to have a epic pizza knockout. Second Reaper dead, third Reaper dead. And we have to make it like a blind prediction, you know, where both Wingend and Gabe make a pizza, but we don't know who made which one, and then we eat both of them, and then we have to choose a winner. But I feel like I'm gonna be really bad at this, because I will just enjoy pizza and be like, they're both really good. Like, I have a hard time picking one pizza over the other if they're both good. Reynor obviously is going to be quite okay with this start. Gabe has another feisty follow-up, guys. For a split second, we had concussive shells on the way. We have cancelled concussive, and we have now fired up stim. I guess the idea behind it is to show Reynor, like, hey, things are normal, don't worry about it. Well, we know it's actually not all that normal. It's a double starport setup once more. But I guess if the tech lab wasn't being used at all, it would be kind of obvious that something was off. So HeRoMaRinE just wants to make sure that Reynor, see, he cancelled stim and he fires up concussive again. He's doing a very good job in making this look like it's bio. Like, I see everything and I believe it's bio at this point. You know, at this point I believe it's bio, guys. I don't even care that I see the starports and the banshees. Gabe's playing bio. That was a funny thing that happened when I was in Korea, where there was a really good poker player, like one of the very best out there, who made an incredibly unusual move on the river, where he basically tried to get a guy to fold, even though the guy had already committed like 85% of his chips and only had to do like 50% extra. And I was like, is this like a bug in the app? Like, did they write this down poorly? But it turns out it was correct. And one of the other commentators asked him about it, and the guy said, man, like, I wanted to represent aces, and I felt that I was doing it so well that I generally started to believe that I had aces. I was like, I'm so sure that I have aces at this point that this guy will fold. Even if it's just like 10% extra. He's like, I've sold this so well, like I've got aces. He's got to believe I've got aces. Then in the end, the other guy just called him, and he was eliminated with jack high. And he's like, yeah, unlucky. But he's like, I really thought I had aces. That's kind of how I feel about this bio sell of Gabe. Gabe is selling this so well that... At this point, I believe he's playing bio. Thank you so much, Dr. Kamon, for gifting us 5 subbies. And this random Twitch discount was the best thing ever. Getting so much love today. Reynor has a double evolution chamber, a lot of links. He can dive on this, guys, because the Marines, they don't have stim, they have nothing. It may look like bio. And Reynor's like, wait a minute, are you ever gonna stim? Do you ever gonna stim? You ever gonna stim? No, there is no stim. Because it has been cancelled over and over again. Now, the Marine positioning is very good, to be fair. Reynor just has so many links. The Banshees have revealed themselves and he's flying over the... Gabe. Gabe making a big mistake there, flying the Banshees over the Queens, losing one of the Banshees immediately. That is bad news. And is obviously struggling with all the Zerglings that Reynor has to do. Second Banshee goes down. Hellions gets surrounded. And this may have been a very, very convincing fake out. In the end, we had no answer for all the links. And we made a mistake when we truly could not make a mistake with the Banshees. Gabe is kind of getting overrun here by links. The work account is still somewhat close. I just think he really needed the Banshees to do a lot more. Overcooked. Gabe never overcooks anything. Not tiramisu, not gnocchi, not pizza. Maybe a Terran build. But Gabe never... Oh my goodness, Gabe! Gabe is nuts! Gabe is gonna drop starboard number 3 and 4 and a fusion core. 8 minutes into Ruby Rock. And Gabe is doubling down. I hope he... and he has to cancel stim. Yeah, okay. He cancels stim. 4 starport with a fusion core. I mean, Reynor has obviously great upgrades. There's a moment where link upgrades are not really gonna make the difference for you. But Reynor says, F it, I've got 13 queens, I've got dropper lords. And this kind of brings me back to the days of Ghost River, where Reynor cooked up that magical build that he used to also beat Clem. But that was very early game. This is much, much later into the game, and we have to worry about a bunch of Hellions, but it's 8 seconds before Blue Flame. And this is still a bit of a link barbecue. But this was 8 seconds before Blue Flame. Imagine if Blue Flame was done. Here come all the queens. Do we have an overseer? Yes, of course we have an overseer. We need creep. We've got creep. And we've got a tied main event. Oh, what a night of games. What a night of games. Well done. And we're all tied up. At least we didn't have a trio, guys. First two best of fives went to distance. This one, well, we have a perfect start to go to distance, but at least it's not a trio. So. Worst case scenario, we fall off short of one of the maximum games. Well, excellent night. I'm so back. I just needed to recover from the jet lag. Needed to get in touch again with the Starcraft spotty out there. What did the prediction end up with, by the way, because I was distracted? I assume that you guys mostly voted for Reynor, but I guess Gabe was winning game 1 when the prediction was still open, so now I kind of want to see. Ah, okay, you guys doubled down on Reynor. Oh, big cojones. 1.9 million against 600k. I can see it. So much fake for nothing. Well, like, it could have worked, obviously, if Reynor plays a different game. Like, Reynor has a lot of builds where he doesn't make that many links early, where he actually drops the Infestation Pit, where he goes Hive Tech, where he goes for Ultras. Then it could have worked, but obviously, when Reynor makes a gazillion links of 59 drones with 1-1 and he dives on your Marines, yeah, then the faking is not really going to work. He just playing the odds. Not a bad strategy, and I think it's generally very hard to call, and I think right now it is very hard to call between these two. We all know that Reynor is at his very best when we are very close to a big event. That's just how it's been over the last 5 years, and that's probably not going to change anytime soon. We recently had a whole bunch of events, like Reynor's had a busy start to the year. Played in the Big Gabriel Cup in Cologne, played in Home Story Cup, played in the Thunderfire All-Star, all offline events. So there is obviously a chance that after that Reynor slows down a little bit. And Gabe is a bit more consistent in that regard. He always streams, he always entertains, and even if it may not be the best practice, at least obviously your hands are still going and your mechanics will be on point. So yeah, I think it's very close between them at the moment.
Round 3. Fight.
Here we go, round 3. Tourmaline, top right side, representing MOUZ Sports. It's the one and only Big Gabriel. And in the bottom left side, we're looking at the main base of the Italian Stallion. It is Reynor. I've said it a couple times today, guys, but if you joined us later or if you want to watch back some of the games that you haven't seen, make sure to go ahead and subscribe to the Basilisk YouTube channel. Obviously, that is free, and it's a great way to show some love and support to Basilisk. I have done 110 Big Brain Bouts. That is 110 evenings where we gifted out 500 buckies. I'm going to crunch some numbers for you guys. I believe that's 55k that we have given to the gamers, which I think is really awesome. And obviously I'm very happy that Basilisk has allowed me to do that. That did not come out of my pocket, guys. That was all my team. That was not me. But obviously I'm very happy with that. So if you guys want to continue that, show some love and support, make sure that we can continue doing this for a long time. Subscribing to the YouTube channel is a great way to support us. You can obviously do the other various social medias as well. We've got a Twitter, an Insta. Some of you guys may not be in that, but YouTube, everybody still uses YouTube. That's not being completely consumed by bots. A little bit of AI slop. It's getting into my algorithm, but it's still alright. We use YouTube. You guys telling me you don't use Twitter anymore, I believe it. You don't use Instagram anymore, I believe it to some degree. But YouTube we still use. And a little subby on YouTube goes a long way. And that's cool videos. Fun content, lighthearted content, serious gaming, bit of everything. Why Bunny? Chassis Bunny? Who's Chassis Bunny? Is that Dota Bunny? Probably. Creeper dives into the natural, drops a grenade. Most normal start so far for our man Gabe. Out of all the starts we've had, so this is the most normal one. I'm gonna follow the camera very quickly of Indy. Indy's a great observer. Get myself a little drink. It's been such a good night. It's been a fun night. We've had a lot of games. Tomorrow, very short stream. Sunday, long stream. The Japanese whiskey, the Cheetah. Time, if you're wondering for my local time, I am in CET. I think it's our last few days of CET, right? Starting Saturday to Sunday. We are back to CEST. Summer. It was literally like not snowing yesterday, but we had serious amounts of hail. I was standing in the yard and I was getting hit by the skies. Like, it kind of hurt, man. Like some of them were kind of big. So I was like, I don't think this is CEST yet, but it is 9:30 p.m. for me, mate. And also for Gabe and Reynor, as all of us are in the same time zone. Japanese whiskey for Japanese F1. I got this one from my brother for Christmas, actually. I know it's been a while, but since it's kind of nice, I don't try to drink it too often. Just have like one here, one there. If Reynor and HeRoMaRinE were pro Dota players, what role would they be in? I feel for Reynor that would be easy to answer, because Reynor obviously does play League and is very good at it. I don't think HeRoMaRinE is much of a MOBA gamer at all. I did get Gabe, I believe, to play a game of Deadlock, if I recall that correctly. The Germans have a Discord that I'm a part of, with like Chris the Legend from Cologne and a couple of the smaller streamers like Musti and Enzo and LTJ. And I got them to play Deadlock with me once. This is a really good surround. I want to see what we get done here. Honestly, that's excellent defense by Reynor. We're happy with it. But I think most of them are not very fond of it. Gabe was watching, but Gabe may not have even played. So I don't think Gabe is just a MOBA gamer at all. I don't know what role Reynor plays. But some of you guys must watch Reynor play some League, so you guys can tell me. I just know so little. Like, I'm so out of touch with League. All the heroes that he talks to me about, I have no idea what they do, what they mean. I feel most of the time I see him at the bottom lane, if that means anything. That's my best guess. And in Dota, I don't even know. I feel like Reynor could be a Crystal Maiden. Then ask me why. Gabe is a little bit sloppy here with the Hellions, guys. Losing a few more Hellions than I feel like he's supposed to lose. Reynor is an ADC. I don't even know what that means. An all-time defensive carry. All-American defensive carry. Attack damage carry. Okay. I'm very bad with Dota heroes as well these days. So you're telling me Reynor plays Haze in Deadlock. Is that what you're telling me? Because that I understand, but that's all I get. Reynor plays Haze or Calico, right? That's what we're working with. Reynor's also going to send it, guys, with Dropalords and lots and lots and lots of roaches. This brings me back a little bit to the day and age where we had that one Kato and everybody was talking about Mac, Cyclones, Hellions, it's unbeatable. And now Reynor brought a couple of the PvZ specials to TvZ. And he did it against Gumio in a game that he was quite worried over. And then he actually got a mega convincing W, just the same way as Zerg used to get convincing Ws over Protoss players. With a lot of roaches, queens, Dropalords on the other side of the map. And Gumi had like 1 or 2 tanks. I feel like Gabe is gonna have a tough time here, because it's obviously been tough for Gabe to scout this. He sees the roaches, sees the ravages, sees the overlords and the Dropalord. I think at this point he knows what's up, but even when you know what's up, what do? Like, you hope, oh, he can get trapped. He cannot get trapped. He's gonna lower all the depots because he knows that. He's gonna drop another turret. That's gonna buy an extra 0.3 seconds. A lot of SCVs already falling to a couple of Zerglings. Cyclone Micro is good though on the side of Gabe. So far Gabe's doing a good job. Needs to avoid the corrosive balls, and he will. He's gonna pull the SCVs. Gabe, oh Reynor, you have a full Dropalord still, mate. Reynor has a full Dropalord of queens that didn't even participate. Does it matter? Maybe not, because he's already killed 37 drones. There's just so many units. These guys, whenever Reynor or Lambo does a build like this, it just feels like they have so many freaking units. Gabe is gonna get a couple of lock-ons, melts a few ravages. I just don't know if he can ever stop this, man. As the Muslim would say, the floodgates are on. He may be confused. Shouldn't they be open instead of on? No, for Ben they're on. Floodgates are on. Reynor takes the 2-1 lead with a monstrous Roach Ravager Queen attack. And just like that, Reynor is up 2-1. From down 0-1, up 2-1. Is Damu in the capital, by the way? If you mean of Sweden, no. Ben lives in a tiny village. somewhere near Gothenburg, but not quite. I wouldn't say that Ben lives in Gothenburg. Ben lives as much in Gothenburg as I live in RotterdaM. And you visited me, Rexy, so you know how true that is. Damu stopped caring about SC2, unfortunately. I don't know why you would say that, because that's just not true. The Muslim still watches Starcraft. The Muslim still discusses Starcraft. He's just streaming Age of Empires. The man is a grown man. He's making a living doing this. And if he does a better job in Age of Empires than he does in Starcraft 2 when it comes to making a living, he's trying to take care of himself. He's got a kid. He's paying bills. Just for you to say that because he's not streaming Starcraft, he doesn't care about it is a crazy thing to say. You know, he's not 17 and he's just like, oh, I can play whatever video game I want. If his stream does better playing Age of Empires, of course that's going to be a priority for him. It's a silly statement, mate. I can guarantee you that nobody has ever asked Ben to come out to an event to cast, and Ben said, I don't want to do that. He desperately still wants to do them, and we always love having Ben. And he still plays some games of StarCraft every now and then, and he's probably still better than 99% of the people out there. He's just a full-time Age of Empires player because that's how he makes a living. Just disappointed that he doesn't play anymore, but you can't be disappointed in a grown man taking care of his life. Like that is not right. If anything, you'll be like, oh, I love that Ben gave us so many good memories, did a great job casting, was a fantastic Terran, and it's cool that he's still out there and he does still care. Even if you miss him streaming StarCraft every single day, in the end, it's also about what makes him happy, right? Alrighty, here we go, round 4. And the funny thing is, next Friday, BBB, Ben might be the first player. Because apparently the Ruiter, who is one of the Twitch chat users, went into Ben's chat saying, Ben, when do we get to see you in the BBB? And then Ben said, Roddy asked me, but then he never followed up. Which is kind of true, but that's because he wasn't available for the one that I asked. So I'll ask him again for next Friday, and we'll find a fun opponent for Ben. So next Friday, 6 PM, you guys get to see Benny play some StarCraft.
Round 4. Fight!
Bottom right side. I mean, I'm okay with it being Papa. Like, obviously, the statement saying like, you know, I missed someone playing this game. That's fine. But to come out and say, Ben doesn't care, stopped caring about SC2. And that's just not right. And that's also not nice to him. It's like, yeah. Anyway, moving on. A little bit of Twitch etiquette, guys. I don't know why I care. It's probably a losing battle, but I try to care. Bottom right side of Winter Madness. We're looking at the main base of a German Terran. Was up 1-0, down 1-2. Representing MOUZ Sports. It is HeRoMaRinE. But call me Trez. Like, that is an insane thing to say. How can you say Vortex and Lucifron were all for an SE2? How can you say that? How can you say that they were all for an SE2? Lucifron was literally the best Terran in Europe in Wings of Liberty. And Vortex took second in that biggest European event we ever had in Stockholm after Stefano. Beating Red, beating Grubby. Vortex is a goat. That's crazy you say that. Oh my god, you guys are rough, man. Tough crowd. Top left side of Winter Madness. We're looking at the main base of our Italian stallion who's gone for a hatchery. Excuse me, pull into hatch. Making links, sneaking them to the other side of the map. It is Reynor. HeRoMaRinE, his Reaper guys, has missed the Zergling, so this is kind of bad news for Gabe. Doesn't have to be the end of the world, but it may very well be the end of this command set. No, he doesn't want to cancel it. He's going to pull SCVs. Lucifron and Vortex are two of the most talented video gamers I've ever seen in my life. I don't know how you can say that they were all for SC2. That's the craziest thing I read today. That's even crazier than a bunch of guys thinking that it's okay to insult my mom and I'm going to play along with it. And that was pretty crazy, but... saying Lucifron and Vortex are bad in StarCraft is the craziest thing that I've read today. Oh my goodness. I can't read you guys. Nurture was not awful. Nurture was the best Zerg in Europe for years. Nurture is literally one of the best foreigners in the history of the game. He's probably still like 15th in prize money overall, if not in the top 10. Nurture was also very, very, very good. I mean, it's a good start for Reynor, guys, because he did a lot of economic damage, getting 6 SCVs. But the downside for the start of Reynor is that obviously his third hatchery is quite a bit later. Is this a far from ideal start for Gabe? Absolutely. Does this hurt? Always. Is it game over? I don't want to say it's quite game over yet. It's not good, but it's not game over. Yeah, I think it was last December. The Spanish guys decided to play a little bit of Starcraft again. And Vortex, after not playing the game for years, installed the game, played 120 ladder games, and he was at 6,600 MMR. Like, Vortex is a fucking animal. Like, 6.6k is so freaking hard to get. Like, those guys are not awful. Those guys have never been awful at anything. They're offline champions in Starcraft, in Warcraft, in Heroes of the Storm, and in Age of Empires. Netflix needs to make a documentary about those two guys, because they're so good. It's the craziest thing ever to say that they are awful. Thank you, Hidden Variables, for the 20 months. Lair attack on the way for Reynor. We've had a perfect night at the office so far with a 3-2 and a 3-2. Can we get another 3-2? Gabe has some work to do. He knows it. I think overall, like, it's turning into a bit of a disappointing series, obviously, for Gabe, as he came out guns blazing. Like, game 1 was as convincing and as dominant as you could ever hope for if you're Gabe. Game 2 will feel like a game that he probably felt he should have won, but got a bit unlucky. Flying a Banshee over the Queens and not having an answer for that many links, despite the fact that we obviously had Hellions, we could have had Hellions, and that could have been, I'm sure in Gabe's words, a free win. And obviously last game got all in by the Roaches Ravages, and that is how quickly a series can turn on its head. Yeah, also they played Macabellum. I have 700 hours in Macabellum. And then Vortex and Lucifron played for 50 hours. Lucifron I still went 50-50 with, but Vortex I went like 0-4. I've got 600 hours more in the game than he is. He's like, oh hey Ronnie, it's so great to see you. This game is really fun, right? And I'm like, fuck you. Why can't I beat you in anything? Well, I used to beat him in Warcraft 3, but he was a real baby by then. That's the only game that I ever beat that kid in. Gabe is looking for openings. Gabe is looking for damage. The Banshees get a couple of drones. The Hellions are looking for more. Can they get in? They can get in. Is this the moment that Gabe is looking for? The great equalizer. A perfect 3 best of 5s going to distance. Well, this is pretty good. This is pretty good. This is really good. Holy smokes. Guys, Gabe's on fire. 15 drones. And the Banshees survive. And obviously it's a great scout. Like, Gabe now knows what to get ready for. Units, Gabe. Obviously building bunkers when you're playing mech is kind of pointless. But maybe like a single bunker, put a couple of very basic B Marines in. It's not even all that bad. Hellions. Not much to kill here. Everything has left shop. This is a scout obviously for Gabe. Now he knows that it's coming, because it's impossible that these Hellions can just casually drive in here. He knows that it's coming. It's time to get ready, Gabe. It's time to get ready. I wish he would have repaired that Banshee, but we've got a tank. We've got a second tank. He's down 30 supply, but we've got Banshees, Hellions, and tanks. Here we go. Can Big Gabriel hold like the legend that he is and give us a game 5? Cloak Banshees battling the Queens. It's 1-for-1. Maybe not bad for Gabe, but obviously cannot lose a second Banshee. Cannot lose a second Banshee. The high ground tank is gonna sit pretty for a bit, but a couple of corrosive balls will take care of it. Uh-oh. Gabe might still be in a bit of trouble, but he gets another Banshee. That's big. A full HP Banshee, and he's now diving. Oh, nice micro by Reynor with the drop lord. That's very cute. But the Queens are running low on energy. And it's going to be so hard to kill that final tank. SCVs are now going to try to repair a Banshee in the corner. And Gabe is up 24 workers. He's got to be fine, right? He lost 10 SCVs and he's still up 20. The Banshee's getting some good shots up now on the Roaches. Supply is favoring Reynor, but I feel like the state of the game should favor Gabe. Even though he doesn't have that many units anymore. Calls down for double depot. Ooh, the Reynor is taking some heavy fire from the tanks on the high ground. Finally takes it out. Roaches for days, but Roaches don't kill Banshees, guys. Reynor is playing a little meaty game here. It's like a hot potato. Reynor's like, look at me, I'm liquid clump.
Liquid clump. Liquid clump.
Unfortunately, it's very hard to out-micro 3 Banshees with 1 Queen, but Reynor made a pretty valiant effort.
Liquid clump.
Queen is still alive. But it's a great hold by Gabe. And Gabe lost 28 SCVs, guys, and guess what? He's still up 3 workers. Despite the 28 SCVs that he just lost, he's still up 3 workers. And he's a meching Terran against Lair Tech Zerg. J Money. Like, I know that looked a little bit close, but I kind of felt that Gabe was always going to be fine. Only if Gabe would lose the Banshees, he'd be truly in trouble. And he did lose one. I think eventually he lost the second one. But it just didn't look that likely that he was going to lose all the Banshees. Vicky, thank you for the 64 months. No Spurs to worry about this weekend. I have to worry about England. Hey, are the Netherlands playing right now, guys? Are we beating Norway? Are we cooking? I haven't even checked football at all. It's not as intriguing as these games tonight. Every single series has delivered. Reynor is going to send it one last time, and he does get the tanks quickly. And he suddenly has a crazy amount of queens. So Gabe is going to have to pull the SCVs. Got missile turrets helping out against the Overseer. That's kind of cute. You got a Cyclone from the high ground. Reynor doing a very good job in turning nothing into something here, but I still think he needs so much more. Banshees are kind of low in HP though. Kind of low in HP. And that is scary. One set of Corrosive could be the end. Gabe's gonna have to pull off another monstrous hold. Macfield Accelerator almost done. Yes, the V count is still very good. He needs to be so careful with the Cyclones though. Every single unit so important. Contaminate being used once more on the factory to slow down the unit production. Corrosive, the Orbital gets sniped. Reynor casually kills the Orbital in the natural of Gabe. I bet Gabe did not expect that. Now it's the Banshees battling all the queens, but Reynor has spent fuse energy for days. Corrosive balls. Gabe does a good job in dodging it. What a fight, what a battle, what an absolute send. Reynor with his very famous second wave. Coco hyped up the second wave years ago. I do think it's gonna ruin our perfect night of everything going to distance, but it's a great win for Reynor. And I'm obviously very happy for him in that regard. GG gets called. Reynor still gets it done. The second wave. Not the first wave, but the second wave. Let me just go back quickly. Oh, Gabe. Oh, Gabe. In a 4th base even. Oh, that's such a shame that he missed that, no? I feel like if the Banshees turn around immediately, like it would go a million times better for Gabe if he is able to shoot at units one by one. Now obviously the bench is so far out of position. It's obviously a big mistake. I really think he would have been fine otherwise, despite the fact that the queen count is high. The moment that these queens unload, the Banshees will start killing them almost immediately. Definitely a little mistake by Gabe there in the end after he pulled off such a great hold at first. GG's. Well done by Reynor. Reynor 3 and Gabe a 1. And that means Reynor will get the 200 buckies for being victorious on the Friday evening. Gabe will still get 50 for playing. And we appreciate him for playing. Oh, it was a really good night of games. Shame that we didn't get our final game 5. I was really hoping that everything could go to distance today, but we can't complain. We can not complain. Take another look at the scores today, guys. Obviously, we kicked things off with sort of getting a 3-2 victory in the Battle of Sweden over Fjant. After that, Christiane getting a pretty dramatic 3-2 victory over Young Yakov. And in the end, the guy that you guys always talk about, oh, he only plays League, he's a League player. Well, he won early today against SOS, and he beats HeRoMaRinE as well on the Friday evening. GG's, guys. That was a very fun evening. I'm very happy with this. Obviously, I enjoyed doing the Big Brain Bouts last Friday, but I know I was a bit out of it last Friday. I was just a zombie. I was having a tough time keeping it together. Obviously, this week, after a week has gone by, I kind of feel like recharged. And life was good.